Hi Pisces, here is a general look at your solar chart for September 2015, and there's some shifting and changing of emphasis going on of late, and some more to come. First of all, we've got Jupiter coming out of a fixed sign, that's Leo, and going into a mutable sign, that's Virgo, which is also your opposite sign, so very significant for your sign. And then there's Saturn moving on the 17th of this month into Sagittarius, another mutable sign. So the emphasis coming out of the fixed signs and into the mutable signs, and you are very much a mutable sign. So puts those two planets in extremely important positions in your sun sign chart for a couple of years. Well, Saturn for a couple of years and Jupiter for 1 year. The faster inner planets and the sun, we've got really collaborative energy going on here, very much sort of maybe getting bonding or consulting with or working one-to-one. Until the 23rd, you'll benefit more from the support or cooperation from others in close relationship. It could be a number of others or one significant other. It's not a time to be going it alone, though. It really is a time when two heads are probably better than one. And you could be teaming up, you could be finding that you could do business with this person, or indeed, you know, what they can contribute in the way of knowledge is useful to you, or indeed they see you as somebody that can contribute to them, and you can bounce ideas around. Mercury is in an area where you're asking deeper questions, so maybe you are doing this bouncing ideas around in a confidential type setting, it might be, or maybe it's very sort of sensitive subject matter that's being covered, to do with yourself or to do with somebody else, but definitely wanting to drill down to essentials and suss things out. It might not be like that at all. It might be related to finances and property. So at times communications can be very much related to those areas there, money, property, but also can become more involved, intense, and going to say confidential as well. There might be a need for things, you keep certain things under your hat. You're not ready to broadcast certain things, or you're just having to sort of tiptoe gently around certain subjects with certain people. That might be another way it could work. So your thinking could focus on rather sort of more sensitive issues. This is also an area to do with legacies and inheritance as well, so it might be related to that for some of you. And feelings are involved here, very much. Feelings are involved. Your feelings could even get in the way of your thinking processes at times, if you are going through those types of experiences from this transit. But another way it can be working is that you and someone feel quite passionate about something together, or indeed you feel quite passionate about each other, and those feelings go deep. So it's, yeah, it can be like that. But also, as I say, your sensitivity is nearer the surface, so it wouldn't be too difficult to push your buttons. Yeah, that can be like that. But like I say, you can be drilling down to the fundamentals of something and really finding out the nitty-gritty of something, and that might be in quite a material sense. Or in one of these other sort of less material ways. Now Venus is in a practical mood, and so is Mars this month. Mars is in a sector which emphasizes the practical side of all of those bright ideas of the past. And so you're considering how you can actually realistically manage something, operate something, fix something, maintain something, that kind of thing, and getting on with it, really. Maybe enlisting the assistance of you know, service providers, various types, and skilled people in general. But also you can turn that around, and others may be enlisting your services and asking you to apply your skills for them. But also this is the area which is related to health and fitness. So it might be that you are getting decisive and active related to somebody's health and fitness, might be your own, and involved with service providers who can help in that sort of aspect of things. Anyway, daily duties and methodologies, therapies, remedies, skills, techniques and technologies and bits of kit could be very much highlighted with Mars here. And the workplace, employment itself could be highlighted, the day job. And you could, again, Mars likes to really get going with things, get the ball rolling. So you could be very busy because of that, or you could be busy trying to find something which would be suitable. You have to be careful of Mars's irascible side. Mars might just decide to throw a moody, not a moody necessarily, but throw its toys out of the pram, as it were. Or should I say buggy for some of you. Yeah, so that could be going on, but I don't think it'll be too bad because you have Venus there. And Venus is going to stay there even when Mars has left. So the Venus energy will take the sharp edges off this kind of feistier, sharper side of Mars. And even though there might be a moment of contention or tension here and there, it's a small price to pay if you do get your act together or you get something solved or fixed in the process. Yeah. So, and then, as I say, Venus is there. Venus is in this practical, helpful mood, very much you liaising with people who can be very helpful and even socialize with them whilst they are helping you or helping a situation or helping somebody that you are responsible for or concerned about. If there has been a situation which is less than ideal, well, what situation is ideal, I mean, but you know, this is a good time to actually get somebody on board that you prefer, or to be doing the type of work that you prefer, or using the method or technique that you prefer. Because this is such a long transit of Venus there. Venus is usually 3 weeks in a sign, and this one came in there on June the 6th and is still there and will still be there until October the 9th. So that's really sort of impacting this very practical, service-orientated area over the long term. And so you can maybe reach out for others who are more supportive or enabling, or indeed reach out in a different kind of way to do with work, to do with health, to do with the venue, to do with a, you know, a workspace or whatever, or just to do with some kind of treatment that's going on, I guess. There could be other ways, but Venus is there to help and bring somebody towards you, or a situation towards you, which is more beneficial. However, there are various levels and layers and stages of any planet's transit. So one could say that even though the solution wasn't found or the problem wasn't resolved, that the interaction would tend to be not unpleasant, but maybe even quite pleasant. And maybe even you meet a friend, make a friend, you know, or maybe you meet somebody that becomes that significant other who is, you know, you wouldn't have met up if you hadn't had this problem that you needed the help with, you see, or vice versa. They hadn't had that problem that they enlisted your services for and then met, and then it was like, oh, okay, there's something more going on here. So that's me kind of speculating once again, but you get the sort of gist of it. Now Mars moves out of there on the 25th, leaving Venus behind. So Mars takes the sort of that fire starter energy out of there and takes it into the next area, which is to do with partnerships, close relationships, personal or professional. And so these are likely to get fired up and more dynamic and lively because of the agenda or opinion or behavior of another. There could be cross swords sometimes. There could be more physical demands put upon you. You got to be decisive. You got to take action. You got to get with the program. You and someone could definitely elicit strong opinions in each other because it's Mars, and Mars is a bit like Ken, you know, very, very testosterone driven, and Venus can be a bit like Barbie, but she is more than that. Or, you know, the fairy godmother even. So yeah, and so here you are with Ken in this area of close relationships, liaising with another, cooperating with another, but it is Ken. And it might be Ken channeling through you. So once again, patience. You have to be sort of stop, maybe pull yourself back sometimes and go, hang on, am I going too far, too fast? Am I shooting from the hip? Am I not engaging brain before mouth? Etc., etc. Because you don't want to be making a false start or kind of blowing your chances because you came on too strong. Anyway, just letting you know that. And the advice would be to keep things on an even keel. You know, think about diplomacy, because Ken never does. It's shoot first and think later, if he does, really. And then you know, not a bit short on strategy and canniness, really, Ken. Not that I know anything much about Ken. I've only ever seen his picture, but I can imagine. It's a stereotype, isn't it? So don't dive in head first at full revs with all guns blazing before you are sure of your ground. This area here, and Mars will be there for about 6 weeks. So this can be a fleeting interaction with someone, or it might be, you know, something more long term, or something just kind of getting together and taking shape. It might be somebody that you are having to associate with on behalf of another, or something which is close to your heart, something, and you really do need it to go well, you know. So again, these little tips might be useful for you if you remember them. Now, the thing is, the Sun is already moved on the 23rd before Mars comes in there on the 25th. The Sun goes into quite a deep, sensitive area. In fact, it's the same area that Mars, the Sun goes into a deep, sensitive area, and it is the same area that Mercury is in. So the Sun joins Mercury. Mercury, by the way, goes retrograde on the 17th. You may need to know this. And this means that certain things might be postponed, delayed, or somebody gets the wrong end of the stick, perhaps more easily when Mercury is retrograde. Various things can happen. If you read up on Mercury retrograde, you will find out. Some people feel it, some people don't feel it at all, actually. But I think it's if people have a prominent Mercury energy or are Mercury sun signs, they tend to feel it more. However, you might not be a Mercury sun sign and have a real emphasis on Mercury in your chart, so then you'd probably feel it more. But you need to know what your natal chart is to know that, and there are free resources to find that out. So, but you might need an astrologer to explain it to you as well, yeah. So anyway, from the 23rd, the Sun moves into this deeper area. This is the moment to maybe let go of some previous plan or setup or idea or actual stuff, dropping some ballast. So whether that means a spring clean or a general declutter or a change of mind or a rethinking of a contract maybe, or it might not be any of that. It might simply mean that you are confidentially even working out stuff which you need to know. You're working out something which what you need to do for something that you value very much, but you have not got the overall control. It is also partly in the hands of another, or some kind of outside agency sort of rules. It might be a little bit like that. So it could mean a sort of a change of routines related to finances, related to property, related to just your daily routines, or it might not be like that at all. It might be related to a relationship. A change of routines related to somebody in close relationship. It can be like that. And again, this sensitivity coming in there a little bit as well. Usually with this part of this sector, this house, there needs to be a letting go. This can be quite a relief in some cases. You know, why did I carry that around with me for so long? So as I say, many layers, many levels for you to know, and just for me to kind of give the clue. And then Saturn has returned to the top of your solar chart until September. Saturn is at the top of your solar chart from September the 17th. For 2 years, and this is a more dynamic position of Saturn for you Pisceans, and not without its challenges. So that might be you carving out a new role or a new place for yourself in the world over that two years, but in slow stages. As you're clearing the obstacles from your path, it may feel like you're on a road full of speed bumps or roundabouts. This does mean that you can be successful, very much so indeed. This is the time of the harvest where you reap seeds sown in the past. This is very much like that. And it could be that something to do with the past comes back into the present. And we tend to feel these trances of the outer slower planets, and also the inner planets as well, when they come by degree close to our sun or an important point in our chart or planet in our chart, in our natal chart. So it won't be like wall to wall 24/7 for 2 years, but you'll get a little sort of flurry of activity related to Saturn and this position of Saturn at times. It might be a little bit extended at times. Saturn retrogrades and goes forwards and retrogrades and goes forwards before it moves on. So this is the time of the harvest for you. It will be over that 2 years. It comes out late December or in December 2017. And are you working harder at cultivating maybe those in authority sometimes, being frustrated by bureaucracy sometimes? It could be like that as well, as you're working out this new structure for this role, for this in your area of work maybe, or just in your general direction of life, and how you want to be seen maybe by others, how you want to present yourself to the world in the future. And if you're old enough, look back 29 years, maybe 28, 29 years, and see what was going on then. And it can be quite an eye-opener, because you can find out, well, what happened next. Pisceans born from the 19th to the 21st of February with up to 2 degrees rising are going to feel that energy the most. And then until next September, Jupiter will be opening the way to growth through close personal, professional relationships. This is when a significant other could come into your life over this year, Pisces. And this is the time when I'll come back to this, but this is the time when partners, colleagues, clients, friends could get you thinking more expansively. You're learning things that you didn't know before. You're learning through them. You're really enjoying their company. As I say, there could be somebody quite special coming into your life as well. And you early Pisceans or Pisces rising, or those born 22nd of February to the 1st of March, or with 3 to 11 degrees rising, will feel this energy the most during this forecast period. And Neptune is in your sign for many years, and just means that it will amplify all of your basic Neptunian characteristics. And you Pisceans, well, it hasn't moved since last month. Born 26th of February to the 1st of March, or with 8 to 10 degrees rising. That's it for September. If you know your rising sign or your moon sign, listen to those, and also you can read the basics of this material that I've just spoken to you on my website, DianaGarland.com, and I will see you the next time.